Hello everybody and welcome to Go Math with Miss Janky. Today we are looking at Module 8, Lesson 3. And for 8.3, I actually broke this up into a 3-day lesson. So we are going to look at day 1 today, and that is solving percent problems. Our essential question is, how do you use percents to solve problems? And so first we are going to look at finding percent of a number. So notice in my first example problem, it says, what is 28% of 25? So that's exactly what I'm doing today, is I am finding percent of a number. Now we're going to be working with a formula for today. So just a reminder, a formula is something that you can use in math to plug numbers in to help you solve the problem in an easier way. So the formula that we are going to be using to solve is this, is over of equals percent over 100. And to use this formula, you literally read the problem. What is 28%, so the number with the percentage sign goes in the percent area, of 25? And so our of number is 25, and our is we don't know yet. The question is asking us what is. So we would put an X there. So in your notes, please highlight that formula, circle it, do something for you to reference that. I'm going to be talking about this formula in all 3 days of 8.3. So let's take a look at our problem again. We said what is, we don't know it yet, so that's going to be our X over 25 is our of number. Again, our problem says of 25. So I'm just plugging that in for the word of, following my formula. Next, I have my percentage over 100. It's always going to be over 100 according to my formula. So I'm going to put that right away. Now the number in my problem with my percentage sign next to it is 28. So I'm going to put in 28 over 100. Okay. Just like in chapter 7, when we had a proportion like this, we cross multiplied and we divided. So let's go ahead and cross multiply. 100 times x gives us 100x. And now 25 times 28 is going to give us a large number. So please put it in your calculator to make sure you get the correct answer. 25 times 28 is 700. So what did we just do there? Let's write down, cross multiply. Now the last thing we do to solve for x, we're at this stage now, 100x equals 700, is we're going to divide by the number next to the x. And we do this to get x by itself. So the number next to the x is 100. And I do that on both sides of my equal sign. So let's write down what we just did. Get x by itself. So divide by the number next to x. Okay, so 100 divided by 100 gives us 1. So that's going to cancel out and we're just left with x on that side. And again, we're solving these proportions just like we did in chapter 7. Now I'm going to take my 700 divided by 100, and my final answer is x equals 7. So if I needed to write my answer in a full and complete sentence, I could say 7 is 28% of 25. And that's how I would answer this in a full and complete sentence. Now there is a shortcut method, and I will show you the shortcut method. However, I do prefer to use the is over of equals percent over 100, just because no matter which problem you are solving, that formula is over of equals percent over 100 will work, no matter which problem you're solving. Now the shortcut method, it only works for when you're finding percent of a number. Okay, so let's take a look at the shortcut. However, just know I do prefer the proportion method. For the shortcut method, we're going to use the same problem, the what is 28% of 25. And so step 1 is to convert, which we talked about in 8.1 and 8.2. Convert the percent, which is 28%, to a decimal. Then step 2, you're going to multiply by the of number. Okay, so doing this, I'm going to convert my 28% to a decimal. So in order to do that, I take my 28% and I move my decimal 2 places to the left. That we already learned. So now I have 0.28. I'm going to multiply that by my of number in my problem up top. What is 28% of 25? So at the bottom, multiplying by 25. I'm going to put that in my calculator and I'm going to get 7. So no matter which method you choose, the shortcut method or the proportion formula method, you will arrive at the same answer. Just know that the shortcut method that I just showed you only works for when you're finding percent of a number. As we move through 8.3, you'll need to find other missing numbers such as percent, and you'll have a missing of number. So just be aware of that as we work through module 8.3. Okay, let's try another practice problem. And I am going to demonstrate both methods for you. This problem says, what is 35% of 60? So in this problem, I'm going to analyze it. I have my percentage, and I have my of number of 60, and it's asking me what is. I don't know it yet, so maybe I label that X at the top. Going back to that handy dandy formula that we're using, all chapter 8.3 is over of equals percent over 100. Memorize it, know it, love it. You will need to know this formula for the test. It will not be given to you. Okay, let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. Well, the easiest one to start with is the percentage sign and 100 because that's a constant number. It's always there. Now my percentage sign, I'm just looking for the number with the percent sign next to it. So I have 35 of 60. So 60, I'm plugging in where the word of is. And what is? I don't know is yet, so that's going to be my X. Now I've set up a proportion and I know how to solve this from module 7 from last chapter. Okay, let's take out our calculators, multiply 100 times X and 60 times 35. Check your work on your calculator to make sure you've got it. Then we're going to divide by the number next to the X. When we're solving for X here, this should feel like review because we have covered this before. Divide 2,100 divided by 100, and you're left with X equals 21. Uh-oh, my pen's going out. X equals 21. Okay, now let's look at a shortcut method and what that might look like for this one. So reading our notes from the last problem when we talked about shortcut, we need to convert our percent to a decimal. So I'm going to show shortcut down here. We're going to convert our 35% to 0.35. Then we're going to multiply it by our of number. Our of number in this problem was 60. So 3,500 times 60, type it into your calculator, and you have 21. Now again, the shortcut method will not work for every single problem. So I highly recommend, again, use the proportion. I know it takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it because you can use it for every problem that you're going to see in module 8.3. Okay, the next problem is a try this problem. So I would like you to pause the video and try this one on your own and see how far you can get without my help. And then if you need my help, go ahead and unpause the video and I'll walk through it. So let's do it now. Go ahead and pause. Okay, so hopefully you did this, try this problem on your own. Let's start plugging in numbers to our formula. And as you can see, and I'm sure you've noticed, I'm writing down this formula is over of equals percent over 100 on every single problem that I do. And the reason why I'm writing that down every single time is so that I don't miss something by accident or I don't mix it up. I know exactly where my numbers need to be. Let's analyze this problem. 38%. Okay, I see a percentage sign, so I'm going to plug that in for percent. Of 50, I see the word of, so I'm going to use 50 as my of number. And again, my question is asking me what is. I don't know is yet. It's asking me what is. So that tells me that my is going to be X. Now plug those in. I always start with the easiest numbers So start with your 100. That's constant. It will always, always be there in this formula. Then grab the number with a percentage sign next to it. 38%. Now you don't need to include the percentage sign there. I just did on this problem so you can see that that's where the percent is going. Next, we have our of number, of 50. According to our formula, of goes as the denominator of our first fraction. And our is, what is? We don't know it yet. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed with our problem. We are cross multiplying now. 100 times x gives us 100x. And on the other side, we have 50 times 38. 50 times 38 gives us 1,900. My last step to solving is dividing by the number next to the x. So divide by 100 on both sides of your equal sign. 100 divided by 100 gives us 1. So I'm canceling out these 100s, and I'm only left with the x. So now I have x equals, now I need to do some division on this side. 1900 divided by 100 gives me x equals 19. If you couldn't do it in your head, please use your calculator. All right, students, this has been Module 8, Lesson 3, Day 1. Again, this is Day 1 of 3 days of Module 8.3, Solving Percent Problems. See you tomorrow.